What's up, everyone? We're doing the podcast again. It's 2022. Thanks for tuning in. If you're still following the podcast and shit, hope your day's going good. Today we have Desert Sand, Feels Warm at Night, which is honestly one of the first vaporwave names I've seen ever. Like, I remember your name like from a minute ago for some reason. Like, that name just always stuck out. Cause like I remember like seeing you on that big ass vaporwave playlist by After Eating, and it
Oh
was just
yeah,
the coolest thing ever. So welcome, Will or whatever you want to. I can bleep that off. You don't want your real name, but welcome, Desert Sand,
yeah.
to the
Hello.
fucking podcast.
It's great to be here. No, thank you very much for having me here. You can call me Will, Desert, whatever. I think my name got found out through the Spotify credits thing, and now it's just like the first thing you see on Discogs under my artist name. So I mean, there's no point
Oh
trying
wow.
to hide it.
That's the funny thing about vaporwave artists though. Like there's so much anonymousness, anonymity, whatever that word is. And
Yeah.
until you get successful enough to you're just a fucking personality or a name. Like once you get that awesome album, like you can't escape. Like your credits are on Discogs. Yeah, exactly. That's such a funny thing.
Yeah.
Like everyone's faceless and like Phantom of the Opera until it's like, oh, I got a record deal. Yeah, you can fucking publish my name and shit. That's fine. I just thought that's always so funny. Now, are you talking about your latest one with the Zero artwork and whatnot? Your latest release that is on Discogs? Because only like some of my big albums pop up on Discogs.
Well, if you just go to my artist Discogs, it literally says Desert Sand Feels Warm at Night, and then in big text underneath it says real name, colon, and then this is my full name.
Oh, that's fucked. You actually had to like dig beforehand to like find people's names. That's so stupid.
Yeah, no, it's right there. It's the second thing you see on my Discord, which I have nothing to do with, by the way.
Yeah,
all
that just
fan
happens.
submitted. And I don't care. I mean, people aren't going to find much if they search my name up. So, well, I hope not. Anyway,
Exactly. It's no big deal. Like I only talk about it for a second right now because I had bathroom plants on here and I was like, man, what can I call you, bro? And he's like, you can just use the alias. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That was like the first time someone was ever so adamant about an alias. Like, don't get me fucking wrong. Like, I love the whole can we call each other by our like fake names, like type shit. But it's just I don't know. At some point you gotta be like, hi, I'm a person that does that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
What's your take on that? Do you like being anonymous or do you not mind being a personality?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm quite active on there's a Discord server called the Slush Wave Social Club, and I'm on there all the time, just talking and chatting and stuff with people. And I've got a very quite close to some the community members in there. We have a great friendship group, and we talk about releases and upcoming things and things like that. And then we voice chat a lot as well. And it's come to a point now where obviously we all know each other's names and they're sort of used interchangeably. But it's weird to hear my name rather than Desert, because I've been Desert for 2.5 years before it actually caught on that, oh, he actually has a name, And every time I hear my real name in the vaporwave scene when I'm talking to vaporwave friends, it does take a moment to go, oh god, yeah, that is my name. It's weird. I've had this name for a long time, but Desert Sand has been my online name, for so long.
Do you think it's like, is it like a positive thing or a negative thing? Like, it's weird, but do you like it or?
I think it's a good sense to have because then you feel like you can separate your personal life a bit from this. But I'm not that bothered. I don't think it's a good or a bad thing. It's just there, and if it happens, I do not care in the slightest. If someone will DM me and say my full name, I love your music, I would go, that's a bit strange, but thank you very much.
Yeah, that's a bit much. Like, Like I have my shit on my Instagram and whatnot because like I'm trying to get verified and like you got to be like I'm a person like for them to be like
Yes.
okay. So like other than that like yeah, that would freak me the fuck out. Like when emails say my name, I'm always like how did you get that? When I'm like I signed up to the website. But yeah, I totally feel that. I've always loved that, like anonymity, but like you kind of said a cool way of like it separates the art from the artist. I don't know. I feel like to me, if you go around walking, like people are like, yo, Desert Sands, that shit is marriage. Like you have to now be a good person because they're gonna be like, Desert Sands is a dickhead. Well, I'm not gonna listen to his shit. Like that's just I feel
Yeah.
like the more as I guess the future progresses, we're gonna be we're gonna be that like your own celebrity, I guess. You know what I mean? Like you have to sell yourself at all fucking points. You know?
I know, yeah. And you know, is there a point where I'm gonna be known more by more people as Desert Sand than my real name, which probably has already passed that point? You know,
But you don't really show face though, you know? Like even as we're talking right now, it's just a voice chat. Like do you think you'll ever do like face reveals or like a live set or some shit where it's like
I think
I don't know
my
if you've already done that yet or
well,
not.
I did a tiny tease for the latest No Problema tape that I dropped. I used some footage from one of my friends' things where we went round this parking lot at like 3 a.m. and recorded some nice ambient shots. And my face is sort of a little bit in there, you know, side on kind of thing in the shadows. But in terms of actually like showing my face properly, I probably wouldn't do that on Twitter. I think it's probably if I, you know, do a in-person show. You know, if one of the big vaporwave shows can actually come to Europe, please. You know, because I'm in the UK and to get to America is fucking expensive.
Isn't Tupperwave over there too?
No, Tupperwave's in Australia.
Oh my god, I just know he's not in America.
Yes, anyone
funny.
outside of America is just all in the same place.
I'm just so fucking stupid, man. Like, I don't know. I haven't talked to Tup other than with text, so like, I don't know if he's got Australia accent or anything like that when you talk to him. But that, yeah, I don't know. Most of the vaporwave cats I found are on East Coast in fucking America for some. Like, I'm finding a lot of them like pretty close to me. Honestly, it's kind of surprising.
It is weird because a lot of the slush wave are on the west side.
Yeah, right.
Like Days of Blue, for example, lives around there. And yeah, this is going back to being on the Slushwave server and talking to people. They're all Americans, or you know, all the people I talk to, apart from Zero, who's Belgian. But you know, they're all Americans. So there's so many like.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was just saying that there's just so many conversations about accents, and I always get them to do a British accent because it's fucking hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie, like there's so much of me that pulls back all those like, oh my god, that's cool of like just like talking to you. I was talking to my buddy fucking Lazy Boy Loops. Aaron, he's over in the UK as well.
Yeah.
But he's got a real like UK twang, like he's got that voice to where like the first 5 fucking seconds I was like, holy shit, bro, what is up? I am loving this already. It was just such a blindside.
Where's he from?
It's so hard to. Yeah, he's from there, and like it's hard. I don't know exactly where, but he's from like like London, some main ass place. If he listens to this, he's gonna fucking DM me and be mad. But
yeah, because I mean, you know, you don't have to travel far in the UK to get different accents. You know,
yeah, that's the cool
go
part.
to London
Like, there's
and you get all these like Cockney accents down the road. And
that's what he was fucking saying. He's like,
cool,
"Hello, I'm British," and I felt so bad. I'm like, no. I didn't mean to start it that way. I was just excited. Because my voice, I feel like sounds like an asshole. Like I just sound like some douche. Like, I have just like the most basic voice. I feel like if you like see me, I feel like I like to pretend I have a cool persona via my pictures and how I present myself. I'm like, all kind of quietish looking in my pictures, and then I talk. I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? It's like a fucking Shaggy over here. I don't know.
Well, to people in UK and Europe, all American accents are basically the same. I mean,
That's what I'm
apart from
saying.
maybe like Southern, yeah, no,
Yeah,
or
that's
New
definitely
York,
a different brand of person, I'd say.
coffee.
Quaff. Yeah, we have I've been in this area my whole life, Philadelphia, and like outside of Philadelphia, and I don't think I have a Philly accent. I don't think I have a Delco accent because I'll hear people in my area just be like, "Oh yeah, she fucking Delco accent like this. Fuck you." Or and then you build it over and it's like, "Yeah, it's fucking Philly, dude." And then you could say it's New York. It's all like the same asshole that's just living in the tri-state area. But that's cool, man. About fucking. At least they're not making fun of you. It's all
No,
playful.
it's all fun because they take the piss when I try to do an American accent,
Yeah.
and it's dreadful. Yeah, yeah. And problem is for a British person, it's quite easy to do like a southern thing, and every time I start doing it, I try and subdue myself, but then like the hard R's come in, and then I just start speaking in southern, like Texas.
Tex. Oh, that's so weird. You know what's funny though? Like half of the people in American like media are Australian, are from UK. Like the fucking
Really?
guy from Walking Dead is like UK or Australian as fuck. Like in his interviews, like the main Carl, get in the house, Carl. Like he's like from UK and shit or whatever. Like he has like those preppy ass voice
Yeah.
when he's like, yeah, the show's really great. I love it.
Well, you know what's funny? Just one last thing about the voice is that every time I'm on an interview or a live stream or something, my voice is always like the number one topic of conversation. It's like, oh my god, you sound so nice, beautiful voice, manly, gentleman. I was like, that's so nice, but over in this country, my voice gets no praise at all because it's basic as fuck.
What does
So
that tell
it's
you,
a weird
bro?
thing.
Come on over to the third world of America, and you'll be a big fish, my dude. Everyone will love your accent. Everyone will be
I
a
get
big
free
fan.
food and say like, "Hello, can I?"
You'll get drinks. People will be like, "Oh man, me and Nigel all night." Everyone will call you Nigel, probably some shit name like that.
Yeah, I'll
But
just
at least
speak in
everyone
posh
will-
English. Go up to oh, could I acquire some of your finest?
You
Subway
turn that shit
sandwiches?"
on, you turn that shit on, everyone will be your friend. Everyone.
Yeah.
You could hustle people out of beds like, I don't know basketball, and then fucking rip them. It'd be great.
Oh,
we literally have ads here where it's like sports book, like that's like online betting for sports. It's like sports book, whatever the fuck, FanDuel it's got a new person running it, Nigel, and he doesn't know basketball. So come in and place your bets before Nigel does. And it's like the most it's like I'm verbatim repeating this commercial. Like that's literally their hook. Like, oh, this UK guy is betting now. So get your bets in before him. Like,
Before
so no
Nigel.
wonder why people lose their fucking shit when they hear your voice, man. It's
Well, yeah.
no wonder. It's fetishized out the ass.
I work with someone called Nigel, so I'll tell him he's betting right.
I mean, I work with someone named Nigel, and he is not anything like the cliche Nigel you'd expect. Dude is like mini Prince. He's insane. Can I talk about some of your albums really quick to dive into the music a bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, first off, let me get the background. I lost my format for not doing the podcast for so long. I like asking people like how they got started in music. Like, what was your first anything? Like when I first started music, it was like me hearing the Spinners when I was like 4 years old, and I'm going like, wow, this makes me feel something that Britney Spears on the radio doesn't make me feel as much. Like it was just like, what's that? Oh fuck, I think music is my thing.
Yes.
Moment for
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it it does start with my dad. Basically, he just said one day, you know, you need to, because he played the organ when he was young. I've got a fantastic photo of him in the '70s with a Hammond organ in front of him, and he
Nice.
like, you know, he's got that '70s like striped jumper, and
Fuck yeah.
and he was like 10 years old then, so that was so
That's
cool.
even, oh damn, that's sick. Hammond organ at 10 years old.
I know.
Fuck.
And you know, he played the organ for quite a few years, and then when I was young, when I was 8 years old, he said, "Oh, why don't you try piano?" And he, you know, sent me to piano lessons. And at first, I was a bit like, "Yeah," but you know, then I just kind of pushed through, and through my parents kind of nagging me to do it, I got into it, and I was just like, "Wow, this is actually really fun."
So you're like classically trained piano at
I
first,
was
you'd
classically
say.
trained, yeah. And I went through the years, and you know, I did the classical syllabus, and then I did a little bit of jazz and improv stuff, and then that all tied into also my love for, you know, computer technology stuff, and then also the audio engineering side of things, which came a bit later. During my I don't know how to say I don't know how to say this in American terms. For the Brits listening, I did it for my A levels. I did music, maths, and physics A levels, and then I went to university, which I'm doing music and sound recording now. For the Americans, I have no idea. Probably high school. Is that?
Yeah, like what you do? Like, yeah, high school. It sounds like high school, and like you, like, because some high schools you can take college classes here. So it sounds something like that.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, it's my sort of, before I went to university, the latest stage of education I did music, maths, and physics, and now I'm studying music and sound recording. But
Nice. So you're still going?
still going. I'm in my third year. I'm working at the moment, so I'm actually working at a events hall doing sound, lighting, video, that kind of thing, and that's
Oh, fuck yeah.
extremely good.
That's what's up.
And then I'll do my final year next year, and then hopefully continue working there afterwards. But
Nice.
yeah, it was just a progression of, I learnt piano, and then I got into, well, my dad bought me Logic one year, and he bought me a MIDI keyboard, and so then I was exploring that, and then that just grew and grew with experience, and yeah, that's what set me up to be able to do like the sample-free albums.
Yeah, because like that's the part that blows me away with some of your shit the most. Like I really love your 2020 release. I've probably heard that the most of anything you've put out. I don't know what it's called because it's in another language.
The White
but-
Flower.
Oh, that's what it's called, White Flower.
Well, no. Does it have a white flower on the cover?
It's like the person in like a graveyard or something. It's like they're kneeling down, or I think it's a person. Oh, yeah, it looks like some
Hang on a
person
second.
kneeling down
I
in the
forgot my own
city.
discography, which I do on a regular basis. Hang on.
It's like a purple, and it's like a purple city. It looks.
Oh,
like, yeah.
right. Yes. Floating in the Sea of Clouds.
That is such a good record. Like I've probably heard that more than
Yes.
anything you've put out. That
Okay,
shit
yeah.
is so
yeah,
good.
so it's a person. It's supposed to be a person floating over a city on a cloud.
Okay, from like what I can see only from my phone, it looked like someone like praying in a graveyard, but also a city or something. It looks really cool. But
Yeah.
like, isn't that when did you start doing your sample free then? Because I remember you posted a thing about that when you did drop that.
Well, my first sample-free album was Forgive and Forget, which is the one that has the white flower on it in the blue background, that I released in 2019. And that was just a progression of sort of experimental slushwave stuff throughout the beginning of 2019. You know,
Is that the purple album?
it's the blue one with the white flowers with 4-character title. It's called Forgive and Forget.
Oh, I'm probably in the wrong section then.
Um,
I'm on Spotify looking at your.
right.
discography.
Yeah. my
they really changed it up on me. I'm bad at finding stuff.
Spotify's a pain in the ass because they really don't like those low quality album covers. So they're like, oh no, we can't put it out. So I just said, oh fuck you.
Oh, you have issues with that with your album covers?
Yeah. I said, I tried to upload it and they said, oh, the resolution's too low. Not because of the actual image size, they mean like the image quality, which, it's supposed to be lo-fi. And I said, I linked some of like Telepath's albums. I said, look, these have low quality covers. It's the style. And they just went, no.
Yeah, like it's hard because I tried like kind of, honestly, your one album, that's just the two characters, the Purple album, 2019. Yeah, that's probably how I got introduced to you and was just like, oh, I showed this album to people and was like, this is vapor slush wave. You should listen to more of this.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a good fucking record. And like, I'd love to, like, was that sample based or was that
This is mostly sample based. 2 tracks in that are not sample based, but the rest are. So it's like a 80% sampled thing. But what's funny is that I was into like 2015 and stuff. I was doing a lot of sort of deep house, right? And I listened back to it and it is fucking shit. But but when I first came into vaporwave, when I still wasn't sure what to do, I had a lot of those ideas lying around that I just slowed right the hell down, and some of them appear on my early stuff, and I mainly started doing that house stuff probably because of my mum's taste in music, because basically she went like clubbing in the 90s and that's just the music she still listens to.
Wow, so your mom got you into like club music.
My mum listens to like Scooter, The KLF, 2 Unlimited, if you know those.
That's insane.
And then she, literally the other week, she was like, "Oh, you need to listen to The White Room by the KLF," and I was like, "Oh, for goodness sake!" But it was actually a really good album.
My mom likes Kenny Chesney. Like that's fucking crazy. Fuck. Well, that's a great influence, man. Like, it took me to find David Firth on YouTube to be like, electronic music is a thing. Like, I had what do I look up to find ambient music?
Yeah.
And then I watched Salad Fingers, and I'm like, this is weird. Is this a song? And then I a couple Google searches later, and boom, I'm checking out Boards of Canada. And so wait, did you just say you made house, like electro house stuff, and some of that is Desert Sands but slowed down?
So some of it is like the sort of the drums taken away and reused melodies. It's weird. I have a lot of reused melodies from things I made in the past.
Have you sampled yourself from the past?
I've sampled a couple times. I've sampled myself. Most of the time, I rework it because I like the melody, but I don't like how I composed it originally. So I put it in a sort of slushable context. But like for example, the third. Oh god, I can't remember. Just so I don't. Yes, so the third track in that one you were talking about, Drifting in the Sea of Clouds, that song, that's called Lullaby to the Clouds, that has a repurposed melody from a classical piece that I composed like years ago.
Because that's my favorite song, the third track.
Yeah, so the Nimizu na la de dama. That's a melody from a classical piece.
That's fucking crazy to hear you do that. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just fanboyed for a second because I'm like, that's it right there. That's cool as fuck.
So I wrote that in like 2017 or something. A bit before I discovered vaporwave, and that's why if you download the album, it comes with the sheet music for that track because it was a piano piece.
Wow.
The I don't know if you've heard the bonus track, but the bonus piano version of that is the piece, but slowed down a bit.
Oh fuck, really?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm gonna have to buy it.
Uh,
That's cool as fuck, dude.
so yeah, track 9 is the piano version of that, which is the original, or a slightly altered version of the original and slowed down. But yeah,
Wow. God damn. I might get the vinyl. Is there any left? Oh, it's sold out. Well, congrats on that, by the
thank
way.
you very much. Yeah, you'll have to pay the scalpers now.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, yeah. First off, congrats on all your success, too. Like, you're
Thank you very
one of
much.
the more popular artists.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it sometimes it does take me a moment to step back and think like, I'm not a stats person, so I don't look at it often. But every now and then I'll just go back to my stats. I'm like, shit. You know, what the stat I was reading recently? I've been added to 11,000 Spotify playlists. I mean
That's crazy, dude.
That's a massive number of plays, and I was just like 11,000. And you think, you know, like, you know, my followers is growing, and people are still actively finding my stuff, and new people are coming in all the time, and it's the best feeling in the world to know that I can still have this impact for albums that I made years ago. And the best thing in the world is getting DMs or emails of people saying like, you know, your stuff's amazing. You got me out of depression. You helped me through things. And literally one guy just sent me a message going, I'm so glad you exist. Thank you.
Wow. Those are the best. Those literally are. That's better than someone buying your discography for $100. You know, like on Bandcamp. That's just like, wow. I'll take 1,000,000 of the heartfelt messages compared to whatever,
Yeah.
like
You,
gratifying stuff.
yeah, you get high. You just get high on dopamine. Like seriously.
Yeah.
You know, during the live stream and stuff. Like I remember the first Slushwave event, Slushwave 2020, and when my set came on. You know, I was already buzzed throughout the whole event because it was actually happening and loads of people were tuning in to, you know, all the hard work that I put into it. And then my set came along and it was just lovely message after lovely message after support, love, you know, and I was just, by the end of it, if you listen back to the show after my set, I'm just a bit speechless. I'm like, guys.
Well, I mean, you should be, man. Like, it's really crazy. Like, I consider, like, not to just sit here and dicky, but like, I literally consider you one of the more cornerstone people of the genre. Like, even though you're only dropping stuff in the past like 4 years max, maybe, it's still, I feel like, such a cornerstone today. Like, New World Disciple is like a really great new release, by the way.
Oh, thank you so
And
much. Thank you.
yeah, like I was re-listening to that shit today on my way to work, and I was like, this isn't sample based. Like that's the part that just makes it cherry on top
Yeah.
and makes me, as someone who makes the music myself and produces the music, just respect it even more because it's like, fuck, there is a gorgeous mystery here. Like if I hear like VV Vulture, I know he's composing it like a motherfucker with some very clean synths, and I can kind of figure it out, but like I couldn't write something like that, but like I can figure it out. Same thing with like Mind Spring. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
that's a sample. I'm not sure what sample, and I'm not even sure what they're kind of doing. It's this part, but the other part I get. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a fucking mystery. Like you have a very distinct sound. You use clavs a lot, and like
Yes.
that's kind of like a signature. Like I found like you kind of made that a signature. Would you consider that, or what would you consider a signature for
God,
Desert
my
Sand?
signature. I don't know. I think compared to some Slushwave, my stuff is quite. God, what's the word? Sort of spacey, and that the compression's not too harsh. It's quite open.
It's not loud either. It's really
it's
not in your
it's not very
face.
loud. I don't export things too loudly either because I just want that openness. I want that extra sort of space. You listen to Telepath stuff and you actually realize, shit, this is compressed to hell. Those drums, everything's like a sausage. Whereas my stuff is just, I'm not saying that's bad. It's a stylistic choice, and my stuff is
Totally.
just very open.
And honestly, there's a lot of, say what you want about the fucking guy, but like there's some Telepath songs that are like wow, this is like next level compression, but like you can kind of tell it's telepath because of that compression, and you can tell it's you because of that openness. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, and I think that is a signature thing. And I guess it's just as well my effects chain really, because I have some interesting reverb plugins on there. On my secret.
Not to give away your sauce, but
I'm
like
not.
kind of what's the process? Like some of a process you go
Well,
through.
if a good video to watch, where I actually make a sample-free track from scratch during a stream, is on my YouTube channel. Desert Surfers Warm at Night. There's some Twitch highlights of when I was streaming and I made a track from scratch, and I go through all the processes of how I make it, how I build it up, how I slow it down, how I slush it, and how I export it. Blah blah blah. So that is literally my. People ask, how do you make this? How do you do this? I just say go to that video. And then if you still have questions, just DM me on Twitter. I'm always open to DMs, and I'll try my best to reply. Because I don't
That's
check
so
my
sweet of
messages
you.
too often. But if it's a decent message, I'll most likely reply. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people charge for that shit, so you're very nice to do that.
Well, I'm always I'm against the opinion that you should. If you make something good, people then have to pay for it. Because it's such a barrier for people. Especially people. There are casual listeners who don't want to spend loads of money. They just want to listen to it, see what it's like. That's why I've always put it as name your price, because some people think it's a silly idea, but I get stupid amounts of donations sometimes. Like somebody recently paid £20 per album for like 5 albums. So I always want my music to be open. That's why it's not on things like iTunes or Amazon or stuff, because they have their set prices, and it'll just be far too much that I want to charge, especially the sample stuff. I don't want to be charging for that. So it's a
Interesting.
pound for my discography, and that's extremely fair. So.
Wow, I mean, that's a really cool way to put it. Like, I respect anyone's opinions on that because I literally meet everyone on that fucking spectrum. Like, I know a lot of people that do the name your price route and that whole thing because, if you got the following, if you got the donations, why the fuck wouldn't you have it as by your own? Because that just says, oh, I'm noticing the appreciation. Here it is back.
Yeah.
Like, if you really want it, you can have it. Plus, you could just listen to it on YouTube if you really fucking, or you can listen to it on whatever the fuck if you really wanted to hear it. The fact that you're even on my Bandcamp is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I exactly. Yes, it's exactly that point of, you've gone to the effort to actually go to this person's page, and it. I just don't want people to. Yeah, I say it's that extra barrier. I just want people to be able to have access to my stuff.
Yeah, to just fully like be like, and to like take it in, and then they'll be like, wow, I love this so much. I want to give back the next thing they do, or like the next time I can. They're
Exactly.
like, oh,
Yeah.
there's physicals. I'm gonna pick it up now.
Yeah, exactly
Totally.
right. People. I know some people who hate spending money on digital, but spend all the money on vinyls, cassettes, that kind of thing. Yeah, and that that's another reason to do it, because then they get to support you on all the digital stuff, and then when physicals come out, they get really excited because they haven't
exactly
they haven't spent that money on digital stuff. They can then save it for physical things.
Exactly. Which I feel like helps the artist a lot more
Yeah.
than a digital thing. I feel like because I'm very much that way. I have trouble buying something digitally because I everything's digital, man. I can get anything digital if I wanted. Like that's why I'm paying $8 a month for stupid Spotify. Like
How much?
if I'm or or $7, whatever.
Yeah.
But like that's just like if I'm listening to someone, like I want to support them. So I'm gonna buy their record or I'm gonna fucking go to their show. Like I feel like that's how someone like who hates buying digital will receive that, and you have enough physicals out for someone to fucking jump on that bandwagon, man. Let me dive into this though, because this was a question I had at the beginning and forgot to ask.
Nope.
Where did you get desert sand from? Cause I gotta say that's aesthetic as fuck. Like the first time I saw that, I'm like, that's such a vaporwave name. I can't think of a
Yeah.
more vaporwave name.
But this is so disappointing and but basically in the early days I made a label called the Hallworth Collective. It's still up. You can see all the stuff on there. It has some very sort of early Desert Sand pre-slush wave and also just a whole bunch of other crap that I was just messing around with and the different aliases, that kind of thing. Me and a friend, we did that. This was in 2018. And one day I was like, okay, I've got this vaporwave album. Let's make a vaporwave name. And I just kind of sat there and thought, what's cool? What's interesting? And I said, I'll go for something long because that'll stand out. It's different. And I just wrote it down and I said, nice. I popped it up there. I could
Literally just out of thin air, no referencing
no
or
reference.
anything.
I was just I could bullshit and say I was in the middle of the desert at night, stranded, and suddenly this warmth overcame me, and I was bollocks.
Like, man, because that is so aesthetic, and like I always wonder what goes through people's heads when they make up these hilariously wacky names that we're going by. Like, because I'm telling like my girlfriend, like, yeah, I got desert sands, feels warm at night. Tomorrow, and then I have your discovery next week, and then I have Mind Spring the other week. And she's like, "What? I don't know any of these fucking people. You can stop saying garbage at me." And I don't know. I'm just a big fan of the names and shit. I think it's really funny. So that's cool how it's just yep, it's gonna be that.
But I think it worked. It definitely stood out because it's long, and I'm a fucking nightmare for the for set posters because normally they have to put me on the second line or make the text very small or something.
Oh yeah.
Poster designers hate me.
Yeah, they're like, is he headlining? Okay, this is gonna be a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm headlining, it's hard to put me large enough, but also not, push out any of the others. So it's a
You
nightmare.
gotta make a logo that's just like a circle of all the text in one nice little package stamp.
Yeah. Well, I do, my Bandcamp logo is Desert Sand in big letters, and then in small letters feels warm at night, which is easier to put on things.
Yeah, I was gonna say that fits, And as I expand your Bandcamp, I had it really short on my PC. As I expanded, I noticed this desert, and I think that's hilarious because I just was not expecting a desert.
No,
I'm like, oh, they're going for it.
It used to be just sand. If you go on Wayback Machine, it's all sand, and then I changed it up, and I might change it again soon, but I don't know what to.
I'm so bad at designing Bandcamps.
Yeah,
and
same.
There's no one that's like adamantly like, I'll design it for not that much, and I'm a real person, not a fucking weird Twitter bot. You know those people on Twitter
God,
that's like,
the DM
I'll
me.
make your logo for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, DM me. I'll make your logo. It's like, what the fuck? And then I did
but then
DM
you
them,
DM
and they didn't get back to me.
They just link a corporate web page,
Yeah.
get 20%, 25% off this, and then it's like £1,000 for some text.
The amount of bullshit onto like I've just recently fallen in love with Twitter. I've hated Twitter my entire life, and only since I started doing like vaporwave, as I found like, oh okay, there's some like-minded people on here, and I don't mind it as much. But there is so many people that think they're someone and they're just not. Like I tried to get like cartoon stuff from this one person, and because they were like hitting up someone else, they tweeted on someone else's tweet, I'll do your designs. And I'm like, oh shit, this person does designs. Their profile picture looks really cool. Hey, do you have a website? You don't have a link in your bio. Like I shot them a DM, and then they just sent me pictures. Like that's not you being an artist. Like you could have just went to fucking Google and sent me pictures. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't trust you. What? Some rando on Twitter? Like I just think that's so funny how there's like people literally doing that. I really don't think that they're artists are trying to scam people like that. I don't know. It's just crazy today. What what's your opinion on the vaporwave scene?
Oh
Like all
goodness.
of the cats we got going on Twitter, all the different labels, all the bad people, all the good people. What's going on in your
Well, I
head,
feel
Desert
like I
Sand?
always traverse to the bad people, but I really want to give a lot of credit to the good people because there are some stonking labels out there, especially now, who do some fantastic releases. You know, examples I work with: Aqua Blanca, Seiko Mart, Catskill Records, High Reef Records.
Seiko Mart always has some cool
Th-
shit.
they they've been some of the best underwater computing. You know, I'm not listing everyone here. So if you're a label watching, I haven't listed you. You know, don't feel. But I'm just trying to give some examples of just like there are so many good labels out there, and you know,
That's what I really like about this genre. Like the fact that there's so many of these labels and people that aren't even doing music themselves, even running these labels, doing so much for all these artists, like so much. And like a lot of times it's one fucking guy, like Global Patterns, one fucking dude. Like that's crazy.
global
You know
pattern.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
Tim is fantastic. You know, we co-host Slushwave together, and you know, it's just like the problem is with the scene is that there are lots of good labels, but there are also a lot of bad labels. But there's a sort of pool of those bad labels that have somehow risen to the surface and just fucked a lot of people over. And there are some I don't want to name on now, but there are some that I've worked with, and it's been a very bad experience. But they seem to be respected by fans. So it's hard. It's hard, and I don't want to say who it is because,
And
there's
that's
no
another
point.
hard part though, because like if you get fucked on a label release, like that's just your personal experience. Like you
Yes.
can't go out and be like, "Man, this was bullshit," and because then they'd be like, "Who cares about that experience?" Like I got my record, I'm listening to the music, you
Exactly. Yeah.
got
Yeah. Yeah.
paid,
That.
or
Yeah.
like you got
That's
your release. What's the
that's
big deal?
precisely the point. And a lot of consumers don't realize how much a bad label can actually affect the artist, but seem absolutely fine to the customer. And this label in particular that I'm thinking of is just that. To customers and people, it's they seem good, but
Damn, DM me it later so I know to avoid it.
but no, you've got to focus on the good people. Just
I mean,
don't
the good
start.
people are what making this a thing. Like, I'm surprised. I remember listening to fucking George Clanton as just like another vaporwave artist, and now he's like Mr.
He's
Vaporwave,
humongous.
basically. Yeah,
And but yeah, all I would say to people is just don't start drama on Twitter. Just move away from them and start supporting the good labels. Support the artists who care. And watch the Slushwave streams. Get to know the smaller artists. The people I pick for the Slushwave streams are all lovely people because I talk to them. I've messaged them before and join the Slushwave Social Club. It's a fantastic place. Hang out, talk about Slushwave. There's some big artists in there. I'm in there. Days of Blue, Binary Deconstructed. Gosh, who else? I can't think off the top of my head now. There's people.
well, that kind of segues into the next little question I was gonna say. Who's some of your favorite people putting out shit right now? Like, who
Some of my
should
favorite
people
people.
listening jump into?
Well, Days of Blue, who I mentioned, his stuff is really good, and I've helped him recently with a lot of the sample free stuff because he recently got the Roland Cloud. I don't know if you know about that, but he got
Ooh, no.
it's basically it's so good. It's sorry, a little segue here, but it's like it's Roland do a subscription thing for like emulators of their legendary synths. But because it's obviously because it's official Roland, it's proper like authentic. So they have like the D50, JD800, XV1080, XV5080, the Junos.
And it's like a subscription, and you get new shit every month or something.
If you get the ultimate subscription, there's a 1 month free trial, and you can get the Jupiter 8, the Juno, all emulators.
I gotta look into that. I'm putting it in my Google search right now so I can. What's it called? Roland what?
Roland Cloud.
Oh yeah, there it is.
And
my God.
it's not just the legendary synth; it's all like the sort of things they've made. They've made emulators. They made this SRX series, which is influenced by 90s things, 70s things.
Force Kids Podcast, sponsored by Roland. Get your Roland Cloud today. Please sponsor me, Roland. Please sponsor me.
Get that free trial. Try it out. It's the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, I definitely will. I need to get some new gear. I'm working towards doing like commercial stuff lately. That's like my new journey in music. I'm getting tired of writing headphone music, and I need some money. So I've been doing that lately.
Anyway, back to artists who are putting out good shit. So Days of Blue, who I was helping with that, and he got the Roland Cloud, and I helped him with like melody crafting, harmonies, that kind of thing, and he's recently put in an album for me to listen to that sounds fantastic. So that's really good.
Nice.
I've also got to give a shout out to my good friend Zero Ray. Zero Trash Rave from Belgium. He is such a wonderful person, and we've been close friends for about 3 years now. And his Bryce rendering stuff is extremely good, and his his albums are also going really well. I think he's got quite a bit planned, so have to keep an eye on him and go to him for album covers. His prices are extremely reasonable. He's a very, very, very reasonable guy. Very down to earth. I got
his giant ass fucking computer thing on my wall right over here. It's such a good artist. Highly recommend him too.
Yeah, he is a real G, as they say. So,
he's definitely the Beeple of the vaporwave community.
We
need more people like him.
I can't praise him enough, especially for his support over the years, just talking to me, things like that. And
they did your latest cover.
So
not your latest, but
Yes, he did the New World Disciples cover, which is accidentally become an icon.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the Zero cover. If anyone's questioning, like go fucking hit up Zero, follow him, buy his shit.
Yeah, the two covers he did for me was New World Disciples and Dream Waterfall. So go check those out. Or check him out. Yeah,
I was mistaken, or it was like a fever dream. I thought you and Your Discovery did something together, but it was just like Zero posting that they did both the cover arts, And I was like, that would be such a good fucking collaboration between you two.
Well, we kind of did. Did you see his latest album? I did a vocal feature. So it wasn't.
Oh, then that might be what I saw then. Okay.
And that was extremely fun to do. And the track sounds amazing. So yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see, really. I have quite a bit on. I have a very big collab coming up. At some point.
I mean, we all do. We all got a million things. I was just saying, I think you two would have a good mesh of sound because you have those what would you call it earlier? Spacey, breathy, not too harsh, soft.
Yes.
I don't know.
Sort of open space. Yeah.
Open. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Cool.
All
right.
Yeah, we kind of do. Yeah, we do both have an open sort of style and. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what will come about? We'll have to see.
Yeah. Do you have any other things coming out this year that you want to plug?
Well, I will say, save your wallets because this year is going to be an extremely good year for record collectors. We'll put it, and we will leave it at that, I think, because I know I'll get killed if I say anything. But there are some huge Desert Sand classics coming to vinyl this year. So,
Ooh.
yes.
Well, you let me fucking know if Purple album is coming off, because I'll be in line for that.
So,
No spoilers,
the
though.
Dense Fog album.
Oh, okay.
Because that one was already released on LP last
I know
year.
if it was gonna do a re-release or some shit.
I don't know if they have a. I think they already did. Oh no, am I getting confused? Anyway, I don't know. You will have to see. But no, there'll be some ones that haven't been pressed yet as well,
Oh, cool.
and some more
Nice.
classics. So
Okay, man. Well, I think this was a good little podcast. Getting back into it. Is there anything else you want to talk about or plug before we say goodbye?
no, I don't think so. Again, just thank you so much, everyone, for the continuous support. You know, even with my huge discography now, and it's weird. You know, like the latest Geometric Lullaby cassette box. People seem to be calling it my best, even though personally I think it's New World Disciples. But it's like got extremely high ratings on Rate Your Music and stuff like that. So, to be able to feel like I'm still producing my best work is fantastic. So I can't thank people enough. I really can't. And I'm shit at saying thank you. Like I just don't know what to do. I just go, thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. But sometimes I just don't get it across. So
Like, what else can you do?
I
like,
know.
like when you get like famous, like how you're kind of doing. Like, what do you just go? I really, really, really mean it. Like, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
how many thank yous? Like,
that seems over
I
the top,
hear you,
then,
man.
doesn't it? That seems just like you're faking it. So
Exactly.
it-
I feel your genuineness, man. Like, it's definitely there. It's definitely
yeah,
there.
and I get donations, a few times a day. So the constant support from fans is unreal, and it's lovely. So I thank everyone truly for your support, because I wouldn't be here without you. So that's all I have to say. People are amazing.
There you go. Keep supporting Desert Sand. Feels warm at night. I said sands several times on this podcast.
Disgrace.
And I've been wrong. Disgrace me, because it's Desert Sand. A single sand feels warm at night. Go check it the fuck out. Go save your fucking money and buy an LP, because you know it's coming. You heard that. You heard that preview. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. And thank you, Will, Desert Sand, for coming out. And everyone have a good year. Everyone just have a good year. All right, that's how we're starting the season off. Everyone have a good year. All right. See ya. Boom! And that's how you cut a fucking podcast off.